less than 24 hours, we will find out the fate of Wade Wilson. There's a podcast out that we talked about before, the Strange Embers Podcast, and they are now giving Team Wade a voice. Lots of things we need to address in this interview. Remember to leave the purple heart emojis in the chat.
YouTube Streets Podcast, man. New Age Plug, DVS. We are back. What it do?
Let's get right into this, though.
Let's get to that.
Strange Embers.
Well, hello to you, DVS. Gosh.
I'm sorry, man. I'm overwhelmed with all this shit.
You're fed up with Team Wade. I know. They're too much. They're too much.
I still don't understand how they actually have a platform.
Hey, how do we feel about Strange Embers taking this route, though, interviewing Team Wade? This is a Team Wade. So this is context for everybody. Team Wade, they came out with an announcement last night on the Wade Wilson official YouTube. This is another thing y'all don't realize. Wade Wilson has an official YouTube channel that's ran by his team. So they decided to go on this guy's podcast. And this is two guys that do a podcast together called Strange Embers Podcast. And
okay, this is my first time ever hearing this, but
Okay, yeah, it's two guys. They actually the podcast is pretty good. But they're more focused on the conspiracies around the case. And you know me, I like all that stuff too, right? A lot of people are saying they went too far with this. They're calling them clout chasers, saying why are you interviewing Why are you interviewing Marie? You're not even interviewing Wade. But they looked at it like this.
Well, I wanted to interview Marie. My offer still stands. I don't know what's gonna happen here. I don't know if they're gonna befriend her or,
Marie said, dude, you got karma coming. You want to interview her. You remember what the last episode was? She said, you got karma coming. You, DBS.
Hey, listen. She wasn't talking to me. I know that for a fact. And this lady is obviously delusional. My karma's clean, man.
You're the one that made the diss song, dude.
Bro, fucking, so what? So what, bro? I'll make another one, too. Fuck it.
Yeah, dude. F Team Wade.
Yeah, now, let's see what these guys are talking about. I want to see where this goes. I want to see how she acts too. I want to see everything what's going on, because it sounds crazy.
So that's their TikTok right there, but they got a YouTube as well. But I guess they're promoting this. That's the Strange Embers Podcast.
Well, this is Marie. Right. This is Marie. Wade Wilson. Stephen Wilson official.
It's Wade Wilson, bro. It's Wade. Marie's the closest thing to Wade. This is the Kiosk Kristen.
She's so close.
This is the Bonnie. She is the one. She remember that midwife thing that you were doing with Kiosk Kristen? This is the new midwife, bro. She is in charge, dog.
Yeah, I could tell. She's
making a lot of money. She's making a lot of money.
She is orchestrating it. She is getting that Wade Wilson money. I guess she's trying to get daddy some new shoes or maybe a new lawyer. It's a new lawyer, right?
A new lawyer, but I mean, they got to get a certain lawyer for, the death penalty, because that's what's going to be said tomorrow.
And she's got to get a certain lawyer that's going to play her game too. Let's not forget that.
Hi, everyone. This is Marie. I'm sure that you're used to hearing my voice all around. And I'm really excited here to be able to speak a little bit more on behalf of Wade and Team Wade on the Strange Embers podcast. So thanks again for having me.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being here with us. In this interview, we're going to ask a few questions.
Roll this shit up.
Find out some things, I guess you would say, about the trial. We're going to ask some really light questions as well. And we'll just kind of move from there with it and see where this goes.
I don't like where this is going. First and foremost,
Marie, would you like to tell everybody?
Big plug, man.
What's up? You just said that you would interview, so let me explain.
I listen. Yeah, with what they're doing right now, this is their channel that we're looking at, and they're putting up pictures of Wade Wilson looking real innocent and portraying him to be like he's not this fucking killer.
I don't
But
have
those are
that
different
picture.
pictures. Yeah, this
I
is
don't
a
have
different
that.
picture. This is
I don't
a
know what that
different.
is.
This is
They got,
different.
I know where they got that from. They got that off of Wade Wilson's Grinder account.
Oh, still, it doesn't match what it is that we're covering, man. It
Joey
just
has
seems like
that.
they're trying to make it softer and they're trying to make it a little lighter and a little bit more accepting.
Joey has that picture underneath the Playgirl magazines in his bathroom.
How you know Wade, how you got into doing what you're doing right now.
Yeah, for sure. So I began my friendship with Wade a few months ago. And to this day, now I really truly consider him one of my best friends. I reached out to him like many people did on Smart Inmate when I became aware of his case. And I just got invested from there. Honestly, I was a little bit surprised that he even accepted me.
She's been listening, man.
Yeah. She's been listening. And but another thing too is the key word that she said right there was invested. Invested because you've
Yes.
invested money of your own money in, but you also receive money back of your investment. Marie, quit the cap. You probably got a new Kia Sorento in your driveway.
Those things are pretty nice, I heard. Full
I,
packages
I,
are pretty
I love them. I
slim.
love that. That was a good car to name. I love them. This Kia, it's not the same Kia. Anyways, back to the topic. But Kia is not the same thing. Kias are
I can
good
get,
now.
nah, man. I can get a Kia started 2.5 seconds, man.
Oh yeah. You're a Kia boy.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know DVS was a Kia boy. That's hilarious.
Oh no, I was a Flatbush Pulley kid, man. I learned from the Flatbush Pulley Kings. I was out there stealing cars at a very young age, airbags and stuff like that. Just trying to make it, trying to ends meet, trying to survive.
He had no idea who I was. I know he just receives names and areas that they live in when he does get a request. So I was honestly pretty shocked that he even answered and responded to me. When we built our friendship, I made sure that he was aware that I was very familiar already with his case. I had done some research into it because I've always had interest in watching court cases and hearing what they're all about. But we didn't really initially honestly speak much about his case. We really just took the time to be able to get to know each other on a friendship level. And I got to know who he was as an individual. Understandably, over time, things
Did you
came
figure
to where
out that
we
he was
started
a
discussing more about
69 God? He's a freaky ass cracker. He's a 69 God. Marie, you say that the phone calls are AI. No, you want your brain to make it think it's AI because your guy likes to get DICK in his goddamn face. You know it. He is homosexual. I'm trying not to cuss, DVS, and this is the best way I could do it. My bad.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think people like the cussing. I think they like the authenticity, the organicness of what it is that you're feeling and expressing in that very moment.
You know this
Let's
is an
try again.
AI pick. You know this is an AI pick of Wade Wilson. Somebody like alter.
Yeah, you could hold on. If you really look at it, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
picture.
Yep.
It's tilted to it matches it from afar, but if you look at it, it's plastered. Yeah, it's
No,
just
they
angled.
took it. They took it from a Latino man, and they like mixed with his face. I don't know what they did. They did something to this, but this isn't him.
about his case and his innocence. And I was lucky enough that he was willing to tell me his full story. So I really got a good picture of everything that did truly happen. And really, Wade has grown so much over the last 5 years.
She drains me, man. And I don't mean in a good way either. She's mostly draining shit out of me, man. She's an energy sucker, man.
Ew.
He's not by any means the person that he used to be, right? He understands the importance of trust and quality in his friendships.
Let's hear the phone calls.
And that's why I really like.
I want to hear the phone calls. Since he's such a changed person, and he's changed his ways. Because I'm pretty sure he's one way with you and a different way with everyone else.
To reiterate the fact that even though we've only known each other for a few months, the amount of time isn't necessarily an indicator of the strength of our relationship. Just by us taking the time to get to know each other, we speak honestly several times a day, if not more than that. it's pretty often. We've just really created a stable foundation to our friendship, and I'm super grateful that he trusted me to be not only part of his team, but to be able to make decisions on his behalf.
With you saying y'all speak several times a day, a lot of the times I'm going to go ahead and ask this. Is it a tablet that he has? The kiosk that we hear about, is that a tablet or is it a...
When was this interview done? Yesterday?
I hate this image too, DBS. So I went and grabbed a real image of him, so people really know what he looks like. Like, let's just keep this image up if we can. You know what I'm saying? I just can't look. You're right. You're right about that picture. I just can't look at him. This is who he is now. This is who he is. So let's keep it right there.
So I laugh over the kiosk. So he does. He has. I always laugh over the kiosk.
Oh,
now.
the contradicting thing. My bad. My bad.
Access to tablets,
Bro, how does
typically.
he? She said that he has no. The kiosk.
This is what I asked. This is why I asked what I asked. When was this interview done? Because I think I'm calling bullshit. This dude
Big
said you
cap.
speak to him many times a day. Lady, you just told us that everything was taken away and he has no contact with anybody. Hopefully he can get it back. Please donate. Didn't you say that? Wasn't you well, that was another fucking money scheme. We didn't think anybody was. Come on, man. Come on. This is bullshit.
It is. It is.
Told
Are they
you,
gonna?
man.
I'm interested in your question because I'm gonna give. This is what I'm gonna do. Watching Strange Embers podcast previously, I'm gonna give them the benefit of doubt. I have not seen this. I've not heard anything, and I'm gonna give them the benefit of doubt. And I'm gonna assume that they're gonna ask some really good questions that we haven't heard her get from the comments. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we shall see. It's pretty fucking long. It's about an hour and 5 minute interview. We're only 4 minutes in. Let's see.
We'll say that. Now his access, it's normally from around 7 in the morning. It always cuts off by 11 that night. But as of right now, understandably, he's had all communications cut off with him, so he has not had access to these tablets since pretty much Saturday, August 10th.
There's your
now,
answer,
these tablets
DBS.
are a little bit different than his kiosk.
Yeah.
His kiosk, he did still have some access to it. I do believe that's been fully cut off at this point as well, but the kiosk allows him to accept and reject requests through Smart Inmate. It does not allow him to do anything further than that. His tablets, he has 2 different tablets that he's utilized, one specifically for phone and entertainment needs, and then one's for messaging. Again, he has very, very minimal access to these tablets since he's in jail. He has time restrictions that he can normally use it within. And these tablets really only have a couple of apps that they can actually download. I know I mentioned this previous on our live, but he has access to certain streaming sites like a Pandora for music. It's not necessarily Pandora, but something similar. He has access to be able to read up on news. He gets movies, which are updated once a month, and a few games. I know I mentioned last time one called Merge Block, but it's really not much other than that. One thing I can't stress enough is the fact that we have to remember he's still in jail. He has no access to internet, no access to get to Google or any other form of search engines that the public may use.
She's doing right now, she's making sure that everybody stays with her. Nobody trails off to any of these other people that are doing the same thing, just on, I guess, less organized kind of level.
He absolutely has no access to social media, so that's why he has his team running his verified social media accounts. And he definitely, and I can't reiterate this enough, he definitely does not have access to any form of apps like a WhatsApp or Signal. And I'm sure you've seen too that there's been a lot of people who have been trying to scam others through these sites stating, I can get you in touch with Wade for a certain dollar amount, download this app. These apps are encrypted, and there's no way that the jail is able to monitor what's being said through those apps. So I just want to reiterate the fact that he has no access to that. It's still very, very limited. And these tablets, they're through GTL. So you can look them up. You can see they're very, very basic tablets that do not allow him to do much.
Thank you for that. If anybody does hear that, do not think that you're going to pay somebody to get through. It's not happening. Is that correct?
Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. Like I said, jails are very particular with what they allow their inmates to do, especially a county jail versus a state prison. There is absolutely no way that he would ever have access to an encrypted app in order to message or talk to somebody. Absolutely no way that in a county jail that he can send you photos. Now, I know that's going to change a little bit as he goes to prison. They do have other apps that they utilize, like a Securus, where he's able to send pictures and be able to talk a little bit more openly, I will say. But in county jail, he is very, very limited to what he does have access to.
Gotcha. A couple other little light questions that I've seen from other people asking is, since you have said about the movies and books and all, a lot of people want to know, do you know what his favorite book is? Do you know what his music genre of choice is? This is some of the things that some people wanted to know.
Yeah, I know everyone's always curious, right, to get to know Wade a little bit better, and he's kind of an enigma at this point. I can't necessarily say what his favorite book is. He just loves to read, and he loves.
Just call him. She fucking refer him to a fucking enigma, bro.
Now everybody wants to know what his favorite television show it is and favorite cereal is, because he only has a certain amount of time to live.
She is truly invested. I'm stuck for words. I really am, Plug. I'm just in awe, because the fact that this dude has a fucking page, right? Official pages, man, and none of these things have been shut down or put to rest. It's just, and I'm I've been trying to do things with certain platforms, and I speak about regular things that's happening in society, and I've been flagged and tagged and taken down, and I'm not getting it. Why is this so important that it's allowed to be pushed out, man? I'm just curious, because we've gotten strikes for less than the bullshit that we're seeing right now, man.
It's the presentation, like you guys were saying last time. It has a big part of this, right? The way she's presented it, she's not coming aggressive. She's, getting the people involved, and they're trying to come peaceful. That's what she's trying to push, a peaceful. But then behind the scenes, you see what, stuff that's getting done. It's not who she really is. So you're seeing, I don't know, man. I think Tuesday, that's why I wanted to put a post out saying everyone be aware of their surroundings. Just don't be loose. You know that these people are absolutely insane to be supporting him. So
yeah, there's no telling what they may or may not do.
To continuously use his mind. He likes to be kept busy. That's his type of personality. And we honestly even joke it's almost like his ADHD brain. He constantly wants to be busy, and he constantly needs to be doing something. So books wise, I can't say, but music, I can say he's really all over the place. He loves rap music. He loves reggae. Some people and some bands that he does is like Kali Bud.
He likes 6ix9ine, because 6ix9ine is a snitch and a chomo too. DBS.
I wouldn't say he's the biggest country fan.
Say it one more time.
And think about it. So 6ix9ine plays a big part of this dude, right? Snitch, check. Chomo-ish type stuff, check. This essay, check. Sexual assault, right? 6ix9ine has that too. And then you got the tattoos on the face looking ridiculous, check. In my opinion. Now, some people do the tattoos on the face, like 1 or 2. I think that looks okay. It's all what people's preference is, but the swastika?
I think I know why people were referring to this as the Charles Manson similarities with Wade and, I guess, Charles Manson. I wasn't seeing that at first. The only thing I can really say that connects the two of them is the fact that they both have swastikas on their face.
He's got out of sight on the right side of his face. It should say out of time.
He's out of fucking time, bro.
That's probably his least favorite of anything, but really anything that keeps it upbeat and positive and has good vibes to it, he appreciates that.
Hey, Marie, what's his favorite coffee creamer?
More action.
Hazelnut or French vanilla?
Hey, Strange Embers, man. Don't take this rough, man. But we are gonna critique the crap out of this little interview you guys did.
I got some things going on for the first male interviewer. I'm gonna hold it until the end though.
And the Furious fan, he just recently watched one of the more recent ones because that was available on his tablet. But he also likes, other movies about adventures too. He's constantly watching movies though. So if he's not reading, he's probably watching a movie.
Gotcha. Has it been since you created this friendship with him? Has it been hard for you to stay in touch with him, like going through the trial, coming up to sentencing? Obviously, he don't have any communications right now, but besides that, has it been kind of hard to stay in touch with him? I know you said about 3 times a day at least you've talked to him, so
Yeah. I'll tell you that as of recent has been more challenging than expected, right? Wade is very much a people person. He likes to talk to people. He likes to get to know you. And honestly, I think it just helps him pass the time while he's been in jail, right? He's been in there for over 5 years now. So restricting his communication, I know even though I can't necessarily speak to him, I know it's probably been extremely difficult on him and has caused him additional emotional stress during this already very stressful time coming up to his sentencing. Now
I can't do it, but the normalization of what it is that she's doing right now about him being in turmoil, and that's nothing what it is that he's supposed to be feeling, man. All that shit she's popping and the stuff she's talking about, come on, man. We're supposed to feel sorry. You pulling the heartstrings on the bullshit. This lady is full of it, man. Even my dog thinks so.
Now, for the first few months that we met and we were friends too, it was very easy for us to speak. There was really no concerns. But I also want to remind you that this was before he really became into the public's eye and really became a public figure.
I want to hear those calls.
Now, I can tell you that the last few weeks, things have completely changed and they have been extremely challenging for us as we continue to tell his truth through his verified social media accounts and have expanded his presence around the world. So just some examples to give you, starting the last week of July, the jail officially cut off all of my messaging to Wade. Starting the first week of August, they actually began blocking my phone number. So I've had to create different phone numbers for him to be able to call me on a daily basis. Sometimes I've had to create more than one in the same day. They have certain ways at the jail where they're able to connect with GTL again, who provides the phone services, in order to have phone numbers blocked so he is unable to give them a call. Now, I'll tell you that by the second week of August, not only did they still have me blocked on pretty much every single number of call, but they also started beginning to block almost everybody's phone numbers that Wade speaks with. Not only the people who are on Team Wade, but even family members and his lawyers they began cutting off.
really?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane the power that they hold in these county jails and how they are not regulated. They can more or less do as they please. And at this point, again, they're not too happy with the stories that we're telling. So they're trying to disconnect him from everyone possible. And their goal is ultimately to break him. Like I said, starting the second week of August too, they started blocking messaging as well too to these people. They started disconnecting them without Wade actually disconnecting from them. And then once you're disconnected, there's a message that pops up saying that you can no longer reconnect with any inmates from that facility, the Lee County Jail. So
That's when your number is blocked. It gives
So they're classifying y'all as fucking trolls. You can never get no more information, stories, and none of that shit. It's over.
It's a good thing because it gets rid of hope for him. I think it's a good thing. Cut everything. They should have been cut it off, bro. I mean, what they got to wait till he's convicted now.
Well,
he's found guilty.
This is the ultimate emotional mindfuck there is, man. Just when he thought he was, he was clicky and he was about to be shaking and moving and got all those things going on, movie, documentaries, books, all that crazy stuff. No, sir, not no more. So imagine how high he was, right? He was, the next 15, I'm gonna be sitting up and be doing this and doing that. I'll probably have a few girls and a few guys and this, that, and his time would have went by super quick in his mind. But the fact that they cut him off right now, right here, right now, he can't do nothing. It's like putting him out in the sea with no life vests. He's gonna eventually get tired and sink. I think that's what they're trying to push for. I think they're trying to look for some sort of easy way out for him. Maybe he'll get tired of being in there, going through the torture that they're gonna put him through, and he'll try to go meet Breezy with when he eat some tacos, man.
Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Let's get to that.
I mean, they can normalize it, right? They're normalizing the shit out of this, right? I got a bit of a dark humor side too. So let's talk about it. I think you said it before, right? You got to fight fire with fire.
That's why they hate us the most, because we're the only ones really like going at their throats back.
And
Everyone's
we're not
like,
really going. We're not
walking on
really even going
eggshells.
hard. We're not even going hard, but we can go.
No,
hard.
not yet, not yet. We haven't even sick. No trolls have been going at them. Like we haven't told anybody to go. You know what I mean? We haven't did anything like that. We're just doing it publicly and showing. We're exposing them, bro. Showing the lies. The last video that we just put out, at the end
So
of
I
it,
just
I
want to
break
say,
down the lies. So come on. Okay,
oh,
John B.
man.
Slimer.
John B. Slimer. John B. Slimer's not fucking around. But yeah, they're gonna get exposed because I've seen a lot of them with women and children, man, tagging their friends, their girlfriends, besties, with the Wade Wilson, living double lives, and gotta watch who you got your kids around, man.
Gives you that message.
Not necessarily a number, but for messaging, like
Okay.
through the smart inmate.
Okay.
It will give you that message for many people. Can't say every single one, but majority of people, including our team members, started receiving a message that we can no longer request to be connected with him.
Gotcha.
It even got to the point, honestly, where they started actually blocking our credit cards and any of our cards that were in our name, so that we could no longer put money on our accounts to speak with him. I'll tell you, luckily we found a loophole around that, because that's who we are, and we're very inventive here. But that's how far that they have gone to silence him and
Pause
prevent
that.
him from speaking his truth.
Did she just incriminate herself?
I don't know about all that. I'm not.
Well, she just said that she just figured out a loophole to get him money.
To speak with him. I'll tell you, luckily we found a loophole around that, because that's who we are, and we're very inventive here. But that,
Yeah, only a white person can get away with saying that, bro. Inventive. We're very inventive over here. I'm gonna start using that. We're inventive too, bitch.
that's how far that they have gone to silence him and prevent him from speaking his truth in the true story of what's truly occurred. As everyone already knows, on August 10th, he was officially put into a disciplinary confinement that we did find out about through letters that Wade has been able to write to us and have actually been delivered. Again, he's written to us, but we do not believe our letters are necessarily getting to him, that we have tried to send to him. And the reason why we found out that they put him in this disciplinary confinement was due to him circumventing the security systems in place for the jail. But I'll tell you that wasn't even the original thing that he was told. And honestly, he wasn't even given an original reasoning. When his phone privileges were revoked from him, we were actually on the phone with him, and we had him ask the guard specifically to give us an explanation as to why, and they could not provide us a reason, or they refused to provide us a reason. So as I mentioned, as of today, he still does not have access to any form of phone or email. And honestly, we're not expecting him to get this back until he's transferred to prison.
Yo, where's the gang stalking when you need them, man? Fuck.
And really, again, can't stress enough, it's just their way of silencing Wade and having control over him, especially since right now he's such a public figure and really, truly a worldwide figure.
You keep calling him Wade. I keep calling him Wade. I'm going to ask this one also. I've heard him through everything on the interwebs now. He goes by Wade. He goes by Steven. He's introduced himself as JR. One question is, do you know why he introduced himself as JR at any point?
I can't necessarily say the exact reason, and I can't say that we've gotten into that a ton. I am very familiar with that, and I've heard it understandably throughout the trial. Wade's a bit of an enigma, and I think that he likes the mystery behind it of not having his name always out there, and that was previously it. So I would say overall, it was something fun for him to be able to do, right? Be able to disconnect from who what his name is.
So we're normalizing split personalities now. This is wild.
Well, JR means Joey's romance. He put that in there after he met Joey. JR is I'm just joking, but I don't know what it means, y'all.
And be able to kind of portray someone different.
Okay. Since you've been friends with him, what is his preferred name?
Definitely Wade.
South to West Virginia.
I can tell you that.
Yeah, shout out to West Virginia. Shout out to Big Wee.
100%.
All right.
He loves it. So he loves the same.
I was really wondering about that because I've heard probably Steven throughout, going through everything I've been researching as well. Probably Steven's the one I personally came across the most until trial started. So I was wondering if the whole Wade thing came about from that being his first name, legal name, how they go about that. So it's good to know. I like to know that.
Yeah, of course.
How does Wade feel going into the sentencing? Is he feeling hopeful about an appeal coming up? Is he hopeful about getting proper representation to show more evidence, to show the things that he has talked about going forward? Where's his mental state at with all this?
It's hard to believe, but he's honestly been surprisingly extremely positive. He is very excited for this appeals process to begin. One, to be done with his previous lawyers, but two, for the future to be able to work with a new attorney who's hopefully going to truly believe in him and believe in his innocence.
Oh my God.
Our biggest goal here ultimately is to be able to raise up enough money to be able to pay for Wade to have competent legal representation, right? I think we all understand that, especially through his previous trial, he has not had that opportunity, and he has not had an opportunity at a fair trial. So we are extremely excited. I know he's very excited too, because of all the support that he's had, and we're seeing that this dream is becoming a vision now with all of the donations that we've received through our Fundly account and our Go Get funding, which was recently opened. Again, I think it's been pretty evident to people all around the world because we have supporters.
But those donations slow down, DBS. 100%. Sorry, it's raining here too, really bad.
Absolutely, it's slow down.
Because of the Joey calls, all of those calls.
She's pitching now because they're slowing down. She's out
100%.
here trying to get them numbers back up, man.
That he did not receive proper legal representation through his trial in order to fight the charges and ultimately his recommended punishment. The jury did not have a chance to even form any form of reasonable doubt because Wade's lawyers, they didn't present anything to negate what the state provided as this so-called evidence, right? I think the biggest thing for me is that from the very beginning, Wade has always been guilty. Now you have to prove your innocence. But here in the U.S. and the foundation of our legal system truly is that you're innocent until proven guilty. And he hasn't been given that opportunity. His lawyers, his current ones, as I mentioned, it was extremely difficult for him to work with them because they don't even.
Okay, so that changes when a confession is in play, bro, right? When a confession is in play.
Absolutely. This is why this is all bullshit. Like, what she keeps on using these words to mind fuck the people, bro. He confessed to this. He's done. She keeps on talking about fair trials. Yo, listen. He confessed. What else do you need, lady? I don't understand it. Like, why does she keep on trying to, switch it to something else where she can get people on the bandwagon of the Wade Wilson team and donate and contribute and think that this shit is like some... Yo, he confessed. He's done. He's cooked. Put him in the oven because it's over.
And as a reminder, he actually asked to change his current lawyers because of this reason and many others, but that was actually denied and they decided to go to trial from here. In a case like...
Hey, and I was watching that.
I was going to have to ask you some too, real quick. Have you ever did trial? Like, what's the farthest you went?
I went to trial. It's crazy that you asked. I went to trial at the age of 12, 13. I had got arrested for some. I was already on, I guess, sort of like a conditional release for something else. Um, and I got arrested while I was on a conditional release. And what they try to say that I did and I was involved with, I had nothing to do with. So I went to trial. I ended up doing time for the conditional release, but I went all the way through trial and beat it. 12, 13 years old, man. Whole process, man. I was
So
right
you're
there.
familiar with this whole thing.
Yeah, I've been in courtrooms my whole life, through family court, criminal court, juvenile court. I've been through it all.
Was you found guilty or not guilty at the end?
Nah, I beat it. I won.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. But since it's over with, no, that real shit. It's real shit. Since it's over with, can you say were you guilty of the crimes that they were asking anyways, or were you actually not guilty?
So I was actually not guilty. Like anytime that I'm guilty, man, I'm looking for the lowest possible deal there is. What's up? I'm looking for a plea. With this, yeah, I didn't. That they try to say that firearm was mine. It wasn't mine. You know what I mean? So had to go to trial, and then they seen the discrepancies in the officer statements and how it was laid out. And what's crazy is the same lawyer that I had that I went to trial with is the same lawyer I had when I first got in the system through ACS. Like she was my family court lawyer during the process while my mother was trying to get me back when I was in foster care. She's the one that got me back to my mother. Fucking crazy. She shed a tear when she saw me in court, and she was representing me in juvenile court. She just represented me in family court. So it's kind of wild.
It's so critical to have competent representation with a solid track record in death penalty cases. Due to his indigent status, he didn't have the capability to be able to secure this. And again, that's why our main goal here is to be able to. He didn't have the capability to be able to secure this. And again, that's why our main goal here is to be able to raise up enough money so that he does have this actual fighting chance to be able to prove his innocence, get through the appeals process, get that approved so that we can get a new trial. As time has gone on, the social media platforms against Wade have truly allowed their emotions to take over their critical thinking skills. Everyone is just so focused on what the media has stated and the image that the media has portrayed of Wade, that they're not actually looking into things objectively and seeing what the true missing information is and the loopholes in his case. So, like I said, we're very,
What? Can you explain one loophole?
This is what I was about to say, man. Like she is just being fancy. She's creating
So Strange Embers, this isn't now I'm about to start getting into them, man. And y'all can take this how you want. I know we
I knew
reach
you were
out.
coming with it, man.
Listen,
I
bro.
be me first, but
listen. Just another Team Wade live.
I said, I know Wade is very excited and he's keeping as positive as possible. His mental state has never been this strong because he knows that we are so close to this appeals process. He can taste it. And he knows that the people are going to be able to actually see his side of the story.
And I agree with you on that as far as the going out into the social media platforms of things and everything that I've seen. Well, first off, to go into the court case, if you've watched our show, it's always, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, there's holes all over this case. A jury of your peers decide from what's the evidence that is there. And I do not feel like out of seeing this, we have not seen all the evidence. There's so many holes that are left in this case. I'm probably going to jump back and forth on a couple of things, and I know you've spoken about this a little bit already, but if people want to know what Wade is like on a personal level, can you speak to that? Like, how do you know
Nothing relevant to the case. He's already been convicted. Why are we not talking about the case?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
These guys sound like two Joeys.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say it.
To that, any?
Yeah, I definitely can. And like I said, I'm very thankful and very glad that I can consider Wade one of my best friends. He's an extremely protective individual. I'll tell you, of those he trusts and loves, very protective over us, wants to look out for what's best in us as well too. And I know he's been very nervous about us going through this process and being part of his team because he understands what risks that we're taking here. He's also very appreciative to the risks that we're taking. He's funny, very goofy, very goofy. He wants to make you laugh and he wants to brighten your day if he knows it's been rough. And I really love that because ultimately we have to go back and.
Did you not know we heard the calls with Kiosk Kristen?
100% she knows.
So what the hell is she talking about? Is this for like new followers, new people?
Yeah. This is just to grab anybody they can to donate money to him so he gets a better lawyer for the death penalty.
I can think about the situation he's in, right? That he's been stuck in this cell for the last 5 years, and yet he still cares about us enough that he wants to make sure that we're having a good day and that he makes us laugh. He really does keep a pretty positive attitude again too for the situation that he's been in. And he just loves to hear about what we're up to on the outside. It makes him hopeful, makes him look forward to what his future does bring once we are able to get him out of jail, out of prison, and be able to prove his innocence. But on the other side of things, Wade's also a very trusting individual, and he wants to see the best in everybody. He wants to believe that everyone has good intentions, and I'm sure that you have seen that there have been a lot of people who have tried to take advantage of him and exploit him. A lot of scammers and just a lot of negative people who are just here, like I said, to see his demise because he is in such a compromising position. He's honestly just a wonderful human being. And
all right, bro. All right. Fuck this. I know you told me to watch the F-bombs. And I've been working on them.
Yes, you have.
But come on, man.
Ask some legit questions that makes it more like we're going forward with what's going on. Like, convince me. Like, this is the thing. You guys are doing a horrible job of trying to convince somebody that this dude is innocent, that there's loopholes in the case. There is definitely some weird stuff in the case. I get
They're
it.
looking for a kickback. Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. They're looking for a kickback. They want a piece of the pie, baby. That's what they're doing. They're letting her know, yo, listen, we're with you. We're Team Wade too. And any contribution will help.
Yeah, that's exactly how they are.
Yep. So it's a win-win for them. Suckers.
We are here. His entire team is here to be his protectors. And we take that job very seriously because we see the good in him. And again, we see his innocence in the fact that he has been framed in this situation.
Now, with you saying that, I'm going to ask this as well. Your team, has everybody, you've said that you've normally, before where we're at right now, you'd get to speak with him probably up to 3 times a day. Is everybody on your team on the same relationship with him? Have they been able to be in touch with him in the same fashion?
They're looking for grabs. Who else can we grab up and see what else we can get? I'm on to you fuckers.
I will tell you that I do probably speak to Wade more than other team members. And again, that's just because of the relationship we built. And being honest, it was originally Wade and I.
Oh, man. Y'all a little too personal for that, man. She knows you're looking for something.
Started this endeavor together and started Team Wade. Now, understandably, as over time, as his popularity grew, so did our team, because you can't necessarily have a team with just one individual, right? So we love our team members, but I will say I probably do speak the most with him about these situations, just because we truly have built that trusting relationship that has lasted for several months now. Our team is wonderful, though. They work 24/7, and we honestly couldn't do it without them. I know I couldn't. I wouldn't be able to keep sane, especially not having the communication with him right now. And really, our main goal, again, is we're here to prove Wade's innocence, to tell his truth, truly get him a new and a fair trial, and to get him released from prison for these crimes that he did not commit, that we all fully.
She's delusional. She's out of her mind. I can't believe that she's actually saying this. How does it even come out of her lips?
Fully believe in. We're not here to sexualize Wade, and we're not here because he's an attractive man. I don't think anybody will doubt that he's not. But you can see from our official social media pages that we're really focused on just telling his story and fighting for him to receive a fair trial.
Also, with you saying the way that Wade is, with wanting to protect, much anger has been directed your way of being essentially the leader of this Save Wade.
I can't even express the amount of messages, honestly, that we receive on a daily basis, both positive and negative. There's been a lot of hatred and anger being directed not only towards Wade, but also our team, and even his supporters on a daily basis. It's been increasingly clear that public opinion is very skewed, and many are losing sight of the core issue at hand, which is ultimately the fact that Wade just deserves a fair and new trial, right? I don't think we can disagree on that. Now, again, many people believe that our support for Wade is just solely because of his appearance. And again, I can assure you that this is far from the truth. And that's why if you go to our verified social media accounts, you're not going to see these thirst traps, which, don't get me wrong, we think they're very funny and they're entertaining to watch, but you're not going to see those coming on our pages because we're here again to be focused on telling Wade's story and to get him a fair trial. Now, I'll tell you, a lot of our supporters, they've been absolutely incredible, but there's a global community of individuals who, there's a couple different things that they're focused on. One, many of them oppose the death penalty in general and don't believe in that. Two, they recognize the numerous inconsistencies in his case and the significant errors that have been made by not only his legal team, but the court proceedings as well. And then a third, they just believe that everyone, regardless of the crimes they're accused of, deserves a fair and impartial trial. I think the biggest thing that has directed a lot of hate and anger towards our way is the spreading of misinformation, speculation, defamation, harassment, and privacy invasions, which I'm sure you've seen. There's a lot that's going on social media right now about that. It's honestly reached alarming levels, and some social media platforms are even allowing it to occur on a daily basis. So,
listen, lady, you're up here popping your shit. She out of her mind. She's trying to be some kind of fucking moral ethic police. Are you kidding me? Or flipping the script, man. What?
I would say that that's probably causing a lot of that hatred and anger that's being directed our way, but I can't say we're allowing it to bother us.
Very good. That's one of the biggest things in the social media world is most people, you got to have a thick skin to be out here on doing this.
You do. That's very true.
You said also about the stuff that's out right now. So let's address this with the phone calls from prison coming out now. There are exemptions with the way that you receive these kind of things. Are you familiar with that?
I am. We've been doing a lot of research on that. Trust me.
All right. So in one of the exemptions, it says exemption number 6 is information that, if disclosed, would invade another's individual personal privacy.
Here we
Would you
go.
like to
Setting
can
tone.
we discuss?
Yeah, listen, man. They're working together, man.
Now, what DBS says right there, he might be on to something, because the direction of this, how this all went, there was another person on this podcast that wasn't on this interview, and he might be the one that's the devil's advocate. Why wasn't he there? So you got him just giving this girl, Marie, a Zane Lowe interview, a pat on the back, a real easy ride, not going against anything, not questioning anything. You said there's a big hole in the case, bro, a big hole. Dude, the dude confessed, and then he changed the story up 100 million times after he confessed. So, what story are we going by now? Strange Embers Podcast. What story are we going by?
Exemption number 6 is information that, if disclosed, would invade another's individual personal privacy. Would you like to? Can we discuss that for a minute?
Yeah, I would love to discuss this honestly, because this is definitely something that we have been looking into. Understandably, everyone is very familiar with the phone calls that are being released. Now, FOIA does allow for these calls to be released to the public when paid for and requested. So that's not anything shocking. I think what's more interesting is the fact that the calls that are being released have almost nothing to do with Wade's actual case and are just instead an invasion of privacy, and they're working on defaming his character. So,
But you can speak how good of character he is. You're saying that these calls shouldn't be released. He was already convicted. So why shouldn't they be released because he hasn't been sentenced yet? That don't make no sense.
I find that very interesting that we're choosing to focus on those versus one that actually might deal with specifically his case. Now, these jail calls, I want to remind people, they're recorded and are intended for law and legal purposes only in case the jail or prisons require them and need that information. But specifically with this exemption that you stated before, as you mentioned, these calls cannot be released and utilized if that information is going to invade another individual's personal privacy. And these calls are doing exactly that. They are affecting the individuals who are involved. And I will tell you that we have been in communication with those individuals and how they can take action going forward. And we're helping them with that process.
You know why, right, Marie? Because you don't want your calls to be released. You're trying to get ahead of the curve now because you were talking to him before you seen these calls get released. Let's get to that. Let's start right there. So these calls start getting released because you started talking to him 2 months ago, right? About around the time these calls originally got released, about a month and a half ago. So you're walking on eggshells. You're shitting bricks right now. Let's get to that.
These creators need to remember that this is an ongoing court case.
No, if he got a retrial, it'd be an ongoing court case. He's been convicted.
Especially as we are ready here to start the appeals process, and they're ultimately interjecting in it. They're making themselves liable with their involvement. And we just wanted to send a message as a reminder that things like this will not continue to be tolerated.
And I mean, I'm the first one to tell you, we've made videos about the jail calls as well, discussing them. It doesn't make us any more in the right or wrong or whatnot, but this is something that's came to light and I didn't know about.
Yeah,
And
we've been learning quite a bit with all the research we've been doing. And again, we want to be able to help the people too who are having their privacy invaded with these phone calls being released, because they also have lives too, right? And who they were several years ago does not necessarily mean they're the same person today. And we want to be here to help them along the way because it is unfair that their names are being dragged through the mud.
Yep. And I'm one of the first ones to tell you, I mean, anybody that ever knows me is, if I'm in the wrong, I'll tell you I'm in the wrong. And with this coming out like that, I don't know if I'll do another jail call video. Especially not if it's just let's talk about our personal life or whatnot. It has nothing to do with anything.
Tommy dating Mila has nothing to do with anything. A lot of the conspiracies you guys talk about has nothing to do with anything, so make it make sense. And I'm going to hold you to that. You say you're not going to review phone calls from prison no more? Okay, we're going to hold you to that. But Team Wade was just saying last week that those were AI, so now the phone calls are real? They are upset because it derailed a lot of money that was coming in. As soon as a lot of these women heard the Joey calls, they stopped donating money. Their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations of being with Wade Wilson, they got disgusted by that. And maybe the girl that donated $24,000, maybe she wants her money back. Let's get to that. And I just can't believe what I just heard. Did y'all just hear this? He just apologized to Wade Wilson, because that's what Team Wade represents, Wade Wilson. He just apologized to Wade Wilson and said, I'm sorry that we reviewed your phone calls. Are you serious? Come on, bro. You could do a lot better than this.
So I will say, I will go ahead and step out there and say, I apologize for what I was wrong in.
We're human. We live and we learn, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, I also, part of that I was going to say is you answer some of my questions. I mean, you're too good at this right now. I'll tell you that, because you're answering some of my questions before I get a chance to ask them. But I was going to
No, this is Team Wade propaganda. You know this, bro. Y'all know this. Y'all had this pre-potted to the T.
say as far as the jail phone call is concerned, everybody that gets on one of those calls, they know they're being recorded.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole entire thing about the exemption is, if it's nothing to do with a legal case, the recording of that the intent for the recording of that is to be used in law, not for we're just going to pay our money, get the video, get the tape or whatnot.
Okay. If you start there, dude, then you might as well just stop all body cams, interrogation tapes, everything that's available to the public. And plus, this is Florida, dude. This is not a different state. This is Florida. Everything's available. Everything. DRs, everything.
Just to have craps and giggles about it.
I get what Strange Embers Podcast is doing, stirring up stuff, getting this interview, doing all these things. It sounds like y'all are in cahoots. Y'all might be Team Wade, whatever, right? But you have joked around with the kiosk thing. I've watched the show. I've seen it multiple times. We all have, right? It's funny. It's funny to make fun of Wade Wilson and all his little drama around him. But those are FOIA requests. There's nothing you really can do about that.
Yeah, and I agree. And honestly, that's what's happening right now. People are trying to utilize it to get more likes and more views on their pages. They're trying to defame not only Wade's character, but the people that he has previously associated with as well, who again have, from what we've talked about, have completely changed since that time frame, right? Humans continue to adapt and change. That's who we are. And so, I mean, I can personally say the person who I was 5 years ago is much different than the person I am today.
Right.
And honestly, it's really sad because people have families and they're being affected that way too, and they have jobs. And so it's not even about Wade at this point. They're affecting other individuals who have absolutely nothing to do with his court case. And it's truly putting a damper on their lives. And I think that's the saddest part. And that's why we want to help them too.
Beautiful. It's still speaking about the phone calls, or just like you said, you get a lot of messages coming in, hate, love, whichever, comes both ways, right? Have any of them been actual threatening, people harassing you? Has there been anything that actually has you worried to be in the position of doing what you're doing right now?
It takes a lot to worry me, I'll be honest. I think I've learned quite a lot over the years, and how to handle stress and worry. I have luckily not received direct harassment, which is wonderful. Again, I can't speak necessarily to all of our team members because as of recently, we have had some who aren't necessarily, I would say, part of Team Wade, but are others who are helping to support us and our goals and our missions who have been called out and have been harassed horribly due to their involvement. I'm not really afraid of the harassment, though, I'll say. It doesn't scare me. I came into this knowing the risks that would be associated with working with Wade. And I knew that I would need to be able to accept it. And like you said, have a tough skin. And I like to think I have very tough skin here. I'm not someone who lets things get to them. And I truly can just focus on what needs to be done in order to help Wade and, again, get a new and fair trial. Now, I will tell you what does concern me is the level of harassment and hostility, not only directed towards Wade, but towards his supporters as well, too, on social media, because I do truly believe that we are all allowed to have our own opinions. And the harassment is just unnecessary, right? If you don't like what we're posting, I don't necessarily think that there's a reason why you need to comment on those posts. But again, to each their own. I'm a very protective person, though, as well, too, myself. So this is why it concerns me so much. I care more about our team members and how they're feeling necessarily than the heat that could come towards me on this. Again, the misinformation, defamation, and the invasions of privacy are reaching really troubling levels. And so many people are just latching onto this information without investigating it for themselves, and they're ignoring the real issues at hand. The focus has truly shifted from a legitimate discussion around Wade's chance at a fair trial and truly the broader debate on the death penalty to baseless personal attacks. And that goes back to the phone calls from prison being released. It is very unsettling to our team overall. It's very unsettling to me. I know it's very unsettling to Wade to hear the harassment that our team has received, as well as his supporters. But we are truly, truly dedicated on helping anybody who is being affected directly by it, and is being, like I said, having their character defamed as well, too, through it.
when you said that, I also want to say one of the biggest things for me, as you said, with people latching on to stuff, one of the things I've seen more than anything that's probably said that stands out to me is a lot of people just constantly say, he said he did it. Case closed, guilty. And to that, I will also say, just because he said he did it, then he turned around. If you go by that logic, he did also say he didn't do it. So if that is your only logic that you're going to latch onto, is he said he did it, so he's guilty? Well, he said he didn't, so he's not guilty. So which one is it? Because that is not, to me, that is not the logic to hold on to tell somebody if they are truly guilty or not guilty. The evidence is what comes out. And there will be people that say, and I've seen it before, is who would say they're guilty that they're not? If you go back through cases of killers, serial killers, so on and so forth, there are tons of people as you go through there that admitted to stuff, and it comes out to not be true. And in a lot of cases, police hold on to certain details that are very, very specific. And when people admit to something, they have to be able to actually, just an admission is not enough. You're going to have to give them something that they're holding on to that only you will know. And that is one of the ways they separate it out to what's the truth, what's not the truth. Let's go find the evidence to this as well.
Yeah, and I think that's truly what's lacking here, right, is the evidence. Again, you can go back through his trial. You can see the information. There's very, very, very minimal DNA that actually links Wade to any of these. There's even a third party's DNA, which was never investigated, which was found. So like you said, people are truly, truly latching on to the fact that he initially confessed, and Wade agrees with that. It's not like he's trying to hide any of that, right? We've already covered that in some of our previous videos on our social media pages. He's not disagreeing with that. But he did it for certain reasons to try to protect his family. And then once his family's house was burnt down, he realized that nobody was going to truly uphold their end of the bargain, and he needed to start to fight for himself and truly tell what happened. So I wholeheartedly agree with you there that, I think in this situation, people latched on, and they continue to latch on to, well, he said he did it. He admitted to it. But they're failing to understand and really look into the evidence behind it and the reason as to why he may have stated that he originally committed this and then retracted his statement. There's more to the story, and I think that's, again, why we're so excited for this appeals process.
Okay, I didn't know that there was other DNA. But if they're going to come with these conspiracies, they need to come with all the facts on the table, like who is the one that killed the two victims in. Because if you listen to Wade Wilson when he does the interview with the news, he says he doesn't kill him, but he says he was there with him. And he actually says that again, too, when your guys' story is that he is there with them. That's what it doesn't. You're telling me that he was the last one they seen and he didn't kill him, the first girl, and then he seen the other girl and didn't kill her either. So the organization was just following him around and killing everybody he's seen that day. Then why didn't they kill the one lady that he went to, randomly, that by the detached garage? Why did they kill her? You see what I'm saying? Like, you guys keep saying there's holes in the case. There's holes in y'all's story. A lot of it doesn't make sense. But I get it, the curiosity of the Strange Embers podcast to have them on. I understand it. I do. But it's not something that I would have did. I would bring them on, but I wouldn't do the questioning like you did. Like, really, really, press her a little bit, I think, right? You got to, make them feel uncomfortable because she's so comfortable. This is just like a Team Wade Live. That's just my point of view, the whole thing. And
oh shit, looks like you lost another one.
They was on the beat like, oh
shout out to
shit,
Corrupt.
oh shit. Acting like a what up, Corrupt? They ain't no killers. Yeah, they ain't no killers. You ain't gon' hit no lick unless you want a pill. You ain't no killer. You ain't gon' kill nobody unless you want some Molly. You ain't gon' hit no lick unless you want a pill. You ain't no killer. You ain't gon' kill nobody unless you want a Molly. Everybody on that fatty, they gonna die for real. Don't worry about the odds, none of them boys, they ain't born to kill. Better lace up, get your cleats on, cause you gonna be in the field. You need a pill to kill, bitch, you just like Wade Will. You gotta pop a perk, if you gonna put in work. You try to get away like skirt, they leave you as dead on the curb. You can be Superman when you want shards, you gon' get knocked out in the front yard. One pin, bitch, you lift off. You want the hard, but you still soft.
He ain't built like that, bro.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like that angle. Okay, he's from Cape Coral now. He's
still like that, bro. Look at the eyes, man. Look at the eyes, bro. It ain't in there. Like, it wasn't. It wasn't until them shards hit that system. You know what I mean? Like, look, bro, there's a lot of dudes out there that do a lot of things under the influence and then take the credit. Like, when you do that of sober mind and you do something that's necessary of doing and then deal with it, like, it's a little different.